going first, if that's alright. I mean, I saw it from a bit of a different angle.
I love the London accent.
Thank you.
I really miss it.
Thank you.
Alright, mate.
Yeah, so I see it from a slightly different angle. It was more, I thought it was very defensively solid, but I thought second half you kind of controlled the game in certain ways. I thought you'd be particularly pleased with how you played on Friday.
Again, you get criticised. We're the only, I said it openly for this is our 4th year, we get criticised for being defensively solid. It's a slant in this league. I just call it organised and working hard for your mate. So why would you look at the defensively solid or structure in the first half? Because we couldn't keep the ball. You don't keep the ball, you're going to defend. It's very simple. 90% of our game plan leading up to the week was ball patterns. What are you going to do with the ball? Okay, what are you going to fall back on if you don't keep the ball? How we work and how we're set up. So were we defensively solid? Yes. Was it pretty to watch from your point of view? Possibly not. From my point of view, beautiful. Buying into what we've asked them to do and working hard for each other. After that, as we touched on at half time, it's not always us micromanaging or talking tactics. Lads, relax. The tension. Does it make you run quicker or make you run slower? The apprehension in our playing the first half, that was gone in the second half. So everything that we talked about, box, extra man in midfield. So it totally, for me, the game, the stats, I'm not big into stats, totally backed it up. I think it was 65% possession or 60-40 in the first half to them, flipped to us in the second half. And I think the second half, from a pure footballing point of view, was a brilliant watch. So defensively solid, yes, over the 100 minutes, because the most dangerous team in the league, I'd say at the minute, attacking wise, didn't score and didn't really have any chances. Maybe Keane Levy. And then with the ball, second half, we were very, 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 very good. Not sure whether that answers your question.
Yeah, it does. Ledwidge kind of took a bit of a senior role in the back line as well, I thought. I thought he kind of led by example. It must be great to see the guys who are kind of younger in the side stepping into that senior role.
Yeah, and something that we've put on Cam, and even more so in the last month or so, with big, here and there on the whole back line now, senior boys, big players, big names in the league. So yeah, we've told him to find his voice, use his voice. Cameron's always quick to moan and have little fights and digs in the dressing room. Now Cam, just use it on the pitch, please. So you align that with bringing all his attributes, his qualities, and again, he's touched on last week going into the game, John Martin being really underappreciated. Cam doesn't get a mention any week. Teams of the week, player of the month, player of the season. The man's a freak of nature, and goes under the radar here. I'm fine with it, but he's a top player. So was I surprised with what he brought on Friday last? No, not one bit.
And his partner on the night, Temple, obviously picked up out of the match. The sky's the ceiling for him, isn't it?
I think the sky's the ceiling for anyone if you put your mind to it and you work hard and you want it enough. So, now Luce is a great boy. He's been up, as I said, on Friday night against top quality individuals to get starts on the team. He started the last two, he's done brilliant. Galway away, he did brilliant. Any time I've ever asked him to step in, he's been brilliant. So again, was I surprised? No, because here was a very, very difficult game against a very dangerous attacking team. He was excellent.
And obviously got Bows on Friday. It doesn't get much bigger at Tolka Park than playing the North Dublin rivals, I suppose. There'll be an edge in the ground, in the stadium. Does it get much bigger than that?
Well, no, I always criticise when there's no edge and if the lads are a bit flat, and sometimes you can just smell it even before the game. So I assume there's going to be an edge, yeah, on Friday night. Dublin derbies, there's no added motivation. Rivals just down the road, and there's an edge here, brilliant. And if there's not, I'll bring it.
And they obviously got 3 points on Friday, but they showed their defensive frailties again. Bows, is that something you look to capitalise on?
Of course, we obviously come up with a game plan every week. We do our meetings, post-match pats, pre-match started today, and so they've had visuals, they've had patterns given today, and we'll touch on it again on Thursday. So yeah, you can take a lot out of the games. Obviously a change of shape. When I think of Bows, it's always back four, wingers, etc. Obviously the last couple of games they've gone to a back five. There's a couple of guys out. Do they stick with it? Something that we'll have to figure out and be ready for. So yeah, there was a lot to take out of the Sligo game, and obviously the one before with the shape change.
Thank you.
Into the environment section here, did you say you want to use it for tomorrow?
Yeah, all right. Yeah. Damien, you alluded to the things that you might not have achieved had you not micromanaged in terms of staying at cup final Europe title. Why would you say then that you're not a top manager?
Say that again?
You alluded to the things that maybe you wouldn't have achieved had you and your staff not micromanaged. Given what you achieved and what everyone would classify as a very good job, why would you say you're not a top manager?
It's not for me to say. I never got carried away. I've had a good game or a good season as a footballer, and I've never done it as a manager, as a coach. I always doubt myself, I always assess myself, and I always have probably a little bit of paranoia, which just drives you on. So yeah, we won the league. If I thought it was top, so I'd come off it. I wouldn't work as hard. So it's just me, it's in my DNA. We're all different. Neil, there's a phrase in football, you've made it. Maybe in sport, maybe in life. And I was nearly 35, playing in the Premier League. Probably not to a great level, but I didn't think I'd made it then. And I know it sounds a cheesy line, but that was me. In my 30s, no, I haven't made it. So if I manage for another 20, 30 years, I'd never think I'd made it. I'd never think I'm top, because it's just on to the next one. So I hope that answers your question.
Can I just ask you though, and you've been quite clear why, for family reasons, why you want to stay here. Would you back yourself though to compete at the Premier League level as a coach?
Would I? I don't even think about it. Yeah, at that level you're obviously up against the best of the best, but there's brilliant coaches here. Friday night, I always admire what Stevie's done with Pats, Dundalk. Bowes has stamped us be all over. Pat's just gone. How Stephen recruits, just as players, probably more in individual fields, but they're always bloody dangerous. Rovers, the way they've dominated Irish football. So yeah, I don't even look or people say, what's your plan? Because it's good to have a plan in life. I don't. As long as I'm wanted here, I'm staying here. Sorry, I'm looking over your shoulder because that's my son at the back of the room. See, I'm here because they're here. I want to be here. Celtic, whatever, over a year without them, I'll never do that again. Because here, football is my life. My reference before the Pats game the other night, it's actually more important, the Bill Shankly one. It's more important than life or death. But when you strip it all back, no, I'm staying with the kids, and that's simple. So I don't look or picture myself anywhere else but in Ireland.
Damien, when we spoke to Admiral at the start of the season, we spoke about incident last season. He said he didn't have a relationship with you, that whatever happened, he moved on, but you weren't on the phone together, he was fine with that. I mean, have you any relationship?
Well, firstly, I don't have a relationship with anyone, but I'm absolutely very happy. Regards that, because I knew somebody would ask. I think you're a Bows fan, aren't you? You used to do your homework with me, I do my homework with you. To prepare for a game, any game, whether it be in Europe, the Cup, the League, is the hardest, most tiring thing I've ever done in my life. So the game finished last Friday, 10 o'clock, lay home, you watch the Pats game. You're up early the next day, Joe's driving the post-match, but we're training, so here you get to bed really late and you're designing sessions, etc. So the only day off is Sunday, but it's not a day off because, again, Pats and Bows kind of roll into one. Okay, post-match show, brilliant, it's nailed. Let's move on to Bows. You're watching them all day, really. And it soon rolls into Monday. And you've been planning the session for Monday and Tuesday. We obviously have Wednesday off. But it's all Bows, Bows, Bows. My son, my daughter, my wife, you're always on your laptop. Because it's 24/7. But you're watching Bows because no matter what people say about them at the minute, they're this, they're that, and probably not negatives, not a lot of positive stuff being said about them. It's a very dangerous game, A, because it's a Dublin derby, and B, because they're a very dangerous team. So all I've been doing is looking at the team. So it'd be poor management and poor coaching from me to be thinking about the manager, because I'd be taking my eye off the ball. So I haven't allowed myself to have 1% to think about Alan. Last week, Damien against, it wasn't Damien against Stephen, Shells against Pats, and I wouldn't allow myself 1% to think about Stephen. So that is literally the truth. It's very tiring up until Thursday afternoon. By the time we, the staff, have delivered a walkthrough, have delivered our final meeting, and by then I'm crashed out, and what I do for the next 36 hours is sleep. Do next to nothing, sleep, hang out with Woods, Dars, but sleep, and don't allow myself to think about football. So I haven't had time, and like I said, if I did, it would just be poor from me to allow myself to be thinking about a person rather than a game and how Bows are going to be set up.
Is there a way that Rennie sets up teams that, just talking about him as a coach and the way he's been number 2 in so many clubs over the years in the 21s and everything, can you see in his Bows team that there's a Reynolds style or there's a way he approaches trying to be used?
Again, whose style is it? It's irrelevant whose style, whether it's his or Stevie's. People might say the same as this Damien style or Joey style of staff. No, it's our style, it's Shelbourne style. But all I know is it's irrelevant whose style it is, but at the moment they've changed shape. All I've ever taught against, like I said, wingers, fullbacks, attacking, but they're not at the minute. They're back 3 for the last 2 games. That's the game. It's like a game of chess. They've obviously a couple of injuries. Are they going to change? Are they going to stick with it? We'll have to try and figure out if they change back again. Okay, we need to adapt quickly. But whose style it is, I don't care. But it's a style that we need to learn and respect.
Stephen Kenny was writing in his programme notes a while ago that wingers are going out of business, the way teams are setting up to beat his teams, and he said it's a trend in the League of Ireland there. You're seeing that the teams are more, we got to stop. We got to make sure we don't lose to Shells as opposed to going out and trying to win a game. Do you face that a lot now, especially as champions?
Well, here I think a lot of teams we played already this season, it's been a back 5, some with a 4 in front and then a 1. It's the hardest thing to do is break it down in football here. It's a sign of respect. People are playing it against us. But no, in Richmond last week I didn't go there to stop Pats. We went there with a makeshift 11, a makeshift back 5. Joe, what can you do with this back 5? I got this gaff, we're grand. And it was a hell of a performance. Okay, then with the ball, what did we look to do? Absolutely dominated and pulled them left, right and centre. Didn't do it in the first half, but we did it in the second half. We went there to win the game. They had a lot of crosses, shots from distance, but like I said, probably not a lot of great chances. And over the course of the game, as the game went on, there was only one winner. So did I go out there to set up to, I respected them because they're a bloody dangerous team, but I went there to win the game. And just like on this Friday, we'll show every opposition a respectful disrespect or disrespectful respect, whatever you want to call it. But it's a fine line, and Bows will be shown enough because they're bloody dangerous. Outside of that, we're the champions of Ireland, and I think here, and it's maybe a loaded message to our guys, I still think our guys can puff their chest out more, i.e. last Friday, hint of apprehension, hint of nervousness in their play. Why? Your top players, leave that at the door.
Last question here.
The different derbies, Damien, the different Dublin derbies, if you take out the opposition, if you take out their tactical approach, how did the different derbies, how did they differ? Does a Bows game differ to a Pats game, to a Rovers game? The feel of it?
Probably Rovers and Bows, sir.
Just the three.
The three of them. Here they're all markedly different, of course, in their ways. It's from a footballing aspect, Rovers just love to come and dominate the ball, and it's always intriguing how we set up against them with the ball, without the ball, chess match. So here, do you want to go to England, etc.? Top man, Steve Bradley's the top manager. Pats, always different. The DNA of Pats is always very similar to Sligo for me, as in back fours, attacking, exciting players, that real hint of individualism. I think it's just in their DNA, their makeup, every fibre of the club. And then Bows, okay, they flipped, but I would have to say if there's an edge, I know Stephen said the other day, the Pats shells from back in the day, I can always feel an edge, and I love an edge, that's why I get out of bed. For me, the real edge for Shelbourne Dublin derbies against Bows. Why? Here, who knows? But I feel it, something that you can't touch, you can't see, but it's there. And I don't know, Darren, Shells fans might disagree, but it's the one for me where, yeah, there's an edge.
That's it, thanks guys.
Sorry, Darren, just checked in. Is Sean Boy back and anyone else back for Friday?
It was only suspension, but you never know with Sean, he'll figure out a way to get suspended again during the week. So yeah, Sean's back and available.